All right. Welcome, YouTube. If you guys can let me know if you can hear and see me okay. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to start off with some quick announcements while we let people log in. And at any time, too, you can start posting your questions. I'll scroll back up, throw them into my list here. So taking questions on anything you want to throw at Ivy tonight. You know, this is spiritual development. This is mediumship, relationships, lost objects, anything here. You know the deal. And be sure to include names. You know, people, places. If it's a business decision, you know, and you're changing jobs, the name of the place would be great. And if you don't want to put the whole name in, you can use initials. So that'll all work. So tomorrow here, YouTube, at 8 p.m., we have a class coming up called Healed People Hear Differently. It's going to be fantastic. So make sure you join us for that. And Thursday, also here, it's a big week. We're doing, are you a psychic, medium, or empath? So if you feel you have abilities, this is a perfect time. You sign in, you ask Ivy, hey, well, what's going on with me? And she'll tell you. And this is a great way to see if you're on the fence, especially about taking the psychic mediumship course, which is starting soon, February 16th, wink, wink. That if you're on the fence, you can say, oh, okay, good. This is something that is in line with how I'm feeling, and I do have abilities and I want to make them stronger. Or if you watch and you say, wow, this is something very interesting. Again, that class is on February 16th. So that's when that starts. But Thursday is a beautiful day to come find out your abilities. And following that, quick, hot on the heels is going to be our Roots Revival midweek prayer and healing service. Okay, so we do our full Sunday services on Sundays, but we've been doing a midweek healing and prayer service during the week to get people that may not be able to make it on Sundays. So that's going to be Thursday here as well at 9 p.m. And then Sunday we have Roots Revival Interfaith Sunday service at 8 p.m. And that is also available. If you missed that stays up on YouTube, but you can take it anywhere you go if you get the podcast. So that will, you get that anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora. Look at these beautiful flowers coming into frame. Could you set
these up however they're supposed to be?
Oh, look at this. I don't know. I think that's good.
Okay.
But, and then next Monday, we are taking a quick Ask Ivy break, and Ivy's going to do a little class called 10 Signs Your House is Haunted. That's going to be really fun, and that's at 8 p.m. And then the following Tuesday, it was a big class we've been prepping for a while. Shadow work. What is it and how do I do it? That's Tuesday the 9th, 8 p.m. here. And you can learn all the good stuff about shadow work. Okay, enough out of me. I hope that you guys are... questions are coming in fast and furious. So without further ado.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Polly. Hi,
everybody.
Very welcome. Hope everyone's doing well. I'll probably stop midway and review this again. Okay. All right. So we are going to get on to your questions. And looks like we have a few people tuned in, right? Very good. So the first thing I want to ask you guys to do is hit that like button. If we can all go on right now, give this a big thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. We are putting up a new link on the website for merch. So if you want Ivy League Psychic Academy tapestries, we've got sweatshirts, hoodies, water bottles, little purses and makeup cases, tarot stuff. It's absolutely awesome. Okay, so check it out. If you guys want to leave donations, it's greatly appreciated. You can hit that donation button. If you want to become a member for all kinds of extras, you can hit the join button. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoy the content that you see here. My channel includes Monday night Ask Ivy shows where I take your personal questions. I do 1 to 2 free mini classes per week called the Quarantine Series. I started doing those when the pandemic hit. You can see all of them on the playlist. And we also put up here our Sunday services, Roots Revival Interfaith. Okay. All right, thanks so much for the donations, guys. I see them coming in, greatly appreciated. All right, Polly, are we ready then? Okay, so I'll give my intro and then we're ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak, and I own a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally online in everything, ranging from psychic mediumship development to numerology, astrology, tarot, Reiki, children as well as adults, you name it, we do it. So we hope to see you at classes. If you need to book a reading with me or a party, you could do that on my website. That link is in the bio. I also run something called Ivy League Psychic Fairs. So if for your business, your event, even bigger corporate events, you can hire a psychic fair and I will send you my workers, graduates from the academy. That's super fun always. Okay, are we ready to get started?
Yes. Okay.
We're not sure? Nothing more I could do. I keep talking if you want me to.
No,
we're ready?
This is
okay.
Good. Let's go.
Who do we have?
Okay, this first one is from Callie.
Callie?
Yep.
Okay.
I was wondering if I should wait to buy or rent.
I get the feeling that it would be best. Now, you have free will. You can do whatever you want with this information. But I feel like over the course of the next 2 years, you could find yourself in a very unique position for like a 3 to 4 month period, especially into that second year, where you could purchase something that you really love, that you really enjoy, that really feels like home, but that is also a wise investment in terms of like a stepping stone and real estate, you know, whereas renting for you feels a bit like a waste. And I think that one of the important things for you to do right now is to stop being double-minded and to pull your energy back and say, what do I really want? Okay, what is my ultimate goal in regards to my money and my residency? And I think that the honest answer from your higher mind is that you would like to own. And I think that circumstances will also be making that easier and easier for you to do over the course of that time. So maybe hold off, okay, until you can do that. Okay?
Okay. This next one is from Zenobia.
Okay.
How do I know I have guides and who or what they are?
I have a class that breaks all of this down and you meet each one of your guides individually, 5 of them. It's called Meet Your Guides and it's up on the website. The link is in the bio. Now, how do you know you have them? You just have to know that because you're alive, you know, you have them. They are literally your lifeline and everybody has them. So lot of misconceptions float around about guides, that they're closer in with some people more so than others, or that, you know, we have guides if we're in a special position in some way. And that's not the case. Everybody has a basic set of 5. Some people, though, do have extras. And at different times in your life, you will have different guides stepping forward and working with you. Or for long periods of time, some of your guides may be kind of quiet. Now, they don't abandon you, but if that's not a major focus of growth and change in your life at that time, all of your guides don't need to be there communicating with you 24/7. So they take turns, they network together, and you can have changes within that system. So it's really important to take the class to learn how to communicate with your guides and to understand their different energies so that you can keep up to date with what's happening. I think one of the very simple exercises I always tell my students and my clients to do that's very effective too is to sit with your guides for 10 to 15 minutes every morning when you wake up and to ask them to show you what you need to know for that day, if there are any pitfalls or red flags that you can avoid, and ask how you can be of service. They will talk to you. Mm-hmm. And what, you know, I just want to say this is to everybody. One of the things about our guides is that we don't, we tend to dismiss them constantly. We often want to give credit to like angels, and that's pretty rare. Those are rare encounters. Or we want to give credit to our deceased loved ones or ancestors, and 99.9% of the time, it's actually your guides, and we just overlook them. Okay, so you probably already know who's there and what's there.
Very good. Okay, this one is from Missy Marie.
Okay.
My energy has been so weird these last couple of months, and I don't know what's going on with me. Any advice?
Yeah, we have a free mini class up here on YouTube called Empaths and the Pandemic. And that's what I'm feeling from you, is an increase with empathic ability. And it's not necessarily coming from your own energy as much as it has been triggered from outside circumstances. So that's what that class is based on. Not only in 2020 did we have the triggers of like a change in leadership here in America, we're seeing changes in other countries as well. So this is a lot of dynamic energy coming out of people who maybe want to butt up against those systems. A lot of toxic energy coming out of people who don't want to face reality and are giving into hate and darkness. So empaths tend to get sick and activated from that. We not only had that, we also had, like here in America, for instance, situations like George Floyd and the awakening that a lot of people are having for the first time, or the inability for them to deny any longer that racial injustice is chronic and systemic. We had, on top of that, the pandemic. Okay, I didn't want to put all that in the title, so I just said empaths in the pandemic. But in that class, we really do kind of look at all of that. And what happens when you have all of this energy going on around you from others is that you get activated, you accidentally overabsorb it, and then you end up showing signs, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, but typically like anxiety, depression, ADHD-like symptoms, sleep disturbances, irritable bowel, chronic headaches, and stuff like this. So we do need to manage it. When and if you get more serious about managing it, you're going to want to check out a class called Empathic Awareness. And that's up on my other website, Ivy Rivera, empathiceducator.com. Paul, can you put that in the comments for her?
Yep, it's also in the description, clickable.
Oh, good. Thank you. Here's Jesus, Jesus, my baby kitty. Okay, what do we have next?
Okay, this is from Rebecca.
Okay.
So, do you foresee children in my future? My boyfriend Stephen has mentioned having dreams of a baby this past year.
That's funny. Someone else just asked me that question, and I've been getting that almost every day from clients as well. These are called presenting dreams, and presenting dreams occur when a child on the other side is getting ready to come through. Now, this does not always match our agenda. It actually rarely matches our agenda. But if we want to be productive in bringing kids through, we want to be able to work with their contract and timeline. You did that with your parents. I did that with mine. We all have free will. So one of the things that is happening here is that you have a child, or let me say this, okay? Your boyfriend has children signed on to him. So he would be having presenting dreams. Now, when you have children together that are signed on to both of you, you could both end up having presenting dreams. Not only the two of you, but also other people in your circles. Like your sister might say to you, oh my God, I dreamed that you were pregnant last night. Or your mom might say to you, I dreamed that you were in the grocery store and you had a baby in your cart. You know, things like this become more and more common, typically in sets of 3. So by the time you have the third presenting dream, that baby is like right on the doorstep. And that may actually be one of the dreams, that you open up your door and there's a baby on your doorstep, okay? One of the things, though, to watch for with babies as symbolism is that your boyfriend could be going through major career or job change or trying to launch his own business, and he would have the same almost identical dreams with that. Okay.
Okay.
But I do see 2 children signed on to you. Yes.
This is from Leanne.
Okay.
So my daughters Kyla and Jaylyn have seen a black figure in their room several times. Any idea what or who this is?
Well, I think that we don't even need to spend a ton of time on what or who it is. It needs to go. That's the bottom line. We don't want to waste time when we're dealing with a paranormal problem trying to kind of, work with it if it's already shown that it's inappropriate. We don't want to try to get overly logical about it. Forget it. Just get it out of there. And so you could book a paranormal consultation with me at any time. That information's up on my website. You could, am I putting out a class? No, I just did some videos on TikTok that you might want to check out. TikTok, my address there is also Ask Ivy on haunted houses and how you know.
We have one coming out next Monday.
We have one next Monday called what?
10 signs your house is haunted.
10 signs your house is haunted. Okay, but that's not really going to help you to cleanse. You have to cleanse. Okay, so I have a class up on the website called Hauntings, Clearings, and Detachments that you really want to take. I would also book that paranormal consultation and move forward. Here's one of the problems that we have. When we start talking about it, or we've identified that it's there, or if we say, I'm going to get rid of it, we start getting something called kickback. And kickback is essentially this negative energy or energies in the house that want to rebel against being removed. And so they will start causing more trouble. And so you want to move quick. You want to do it in a clean fashion. We don't want to feed the fear, but everyone in the house will need to learn tools to maintain the new clean energy and to stave it off from happening again. Yep, that's not a good sign. Okay.
Okay, this one is from Alex.
Okay.
She says, I feel like I'm getting pulled in so many different directions on what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's getting confusing and overwhelming. Can you give more clarity on this?
Well, in what area of life? I need more clarity. Are we talking about health? Are we talking about work? Are we talking about money? Are we talking about spiritual development? Are we, what, relationships? Like just in life?
I think in life, yes.
In life. Okay.
Yes.
3 minutes or less. Alex's life in general. Okay. Let me just talk to your guides and see if they have any recommendation. So the first thing that your joy guide is giving me, your joy guide watches over your mental and emotional well-being. And your joy guide is the one who also caretakes over, yes, your happiness, right? Joy guide, but your spiritual development. And so when we have this guide step forward, we are looking at those key areas of your life. And when this guide steps forward, I know that that's an area of your life that requires healing or is going through a period of growth or change right now. So what this guide is showing me for you is to quiet yourself and silence yourself. Now it's interesting because the way she showed it was almost like a hush coming over you. And it started from the top of your head and went down to your root chakra. So you can look more into all of this symbology. I'm not going to be able to get to this whole message today, but a hushing from here to here is ultimately starting with your crown, which is where you receive information, hitting on your third eye, which is where you receive your own intuition, and then, you know, your voice, your heart. When we talk about ending on the root, we're talking about your control. We're talking about you feeling empowered. We're talking about you being rooted and grounded, okay? We want to talk about you feeling as though you aren't just on the waves of life, being taken and washed away by circumstances, but that you are a participant, that you are steering your ship, that you are captain of the ship. And I think that that's an element that you've lost because things are too loud. So this hushing is an opportunity for you to quiet yourself, to quiet your mind, to quiet too many ongoing dialogues in your head, but also you have to quiet outside of you. Now, that is not a reality that you will ever be able to accomplish. So instead of trying to quiet everything outside, we have to learn to detach. We have to learn to tune it out. And that's where you are right now. You need to learn to be an observer, not an absorber. You need to learn how to pull back and listen to your inner voice and wisdom instead of the chaos in your head. And you need to learn to control those thoughts so that it's like, this is positive and going somewhere. I'm going to allow this. This is cyclical and negative and not going anywhere. I'm going to stop it dead in its tracks. Okay. Check out the church service we did last night at Roots Revival Interfaith. Is that published?
Yeah.
It's up here on YouTube. We did talk some about this. Okay. Okay.
Okay, this is from Kayla.
Okay.
She said, I've heard my name being shouted this morning, and I hear my name quite a bit. Plus, I've been seeing 222, 333, 444, plenty of angel numbers. I'm not sure if I have abilities or not.
Well, we all have abilities. They're not really gifts. They're just abilities. Anyone who is alive on planet Earth is using these abilities all the time. Like psychic ability, for instance, is what keeps you alive. That's your gut intuition. Mediumship does not require that you believe in it for it to be true, because spirits are trying to communicate whether you entertain them or not. So there's no such thing as like, do I have abilities? We all have abilities. Those numbers mean very different things. So I want to go there because we only have like 3 minutes per question. I have to get on to your neighbor. There's a lot in this question, but I will say this. The number 2 is about teamwork. It's about you working with someone else or working in a system, a situation. The fact that 3 is following it, I find this to be a little odd that you're going 2, 3, 4, okay, in that order, but it's certainly possible. I've seen it before. 3 is the Holy Trinity. So you could also say that it's the concept of like the universe and that God, healing energy and wisdom, the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit being in you and speaking to you. So we would be talking about like your higher mind, your psychic ability. Okay. The Trinity is also a great number of support, meaning that you're in a position where you're doing something that is in alignment with your life contract. It would also be backed by your numerology, your Vedic or Western astrology. Now, the number 4 is the big support number here. So the number 4 means that your ancestors, your guides, your angels are backing you in a major change that you have going on in one area of your life right now.
All right, this one is from R.I.
R.I.?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am switching. It's worded weird. Is switching careers entirely from ECE teacher to personal trainer the right move?
I'm not loving it. Is it the right move? I don't know that I would say it's the wrong move. Here's the thing. I think that when we look at ECE, I think that we're talking about where you have some passion. And I feel that when you're looking at personal trainer, you're getting off the rails. It's like there are things that you passionately wanted to do before you got very much into like your degree and all kinds of training and all kinds of outside influence. And it can sometimes confuse you because you don't ever get there. You don't ever reach that point. And then eventually you're just sick and tired of what you're doing. And you're like, I got to get out. Like, this just isn't it anymore. And it's true. That isn't it anymore. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's something else that's enticing you at the moment. I think that one of the things you are great at is life coaching. I think that one of the things you are great at is healing and motivating people. And I think that you are also very skilled due to a couple past lives that influence you heavily in this life, too, in particular. You could always book a past life reading with me and we can look at that. But these 2 past lives have to do with like nutrition. So you understood herbs, you understood roots of, I don't know what I'm looking at, just roots that you would dig up and use for medicines. You understand food as medicine. You also understand from these 2 past lives concepts like mind, body, and soul, right? And so we see too many people not doing that in their businesses or their healing arts. They don't want to connect mind, body, and soul. They just focus on one area, and you aren't meant to do that. So be careful you don't, okay? Figure out how you can make this into, like when I look at your life contract, I see you speaking and communicating with people, but them not on the floor, like doing squats. It's not that. It's like pieces of the first thing and pieces of the second thing. Put them together. We want to marry these concepts. Don't label yourself too hard. Be careful not to fall into that trap right now. I think you would enjoy it, and I think you'd get sick of it really quick. Okay? So it's sort of like up and down, and then we're starting from scratch. Why even go through the process? You could, but I think that you have a passion for working with people and cultivating people in such a way where you communicate with them to help them to understand how they can help themselves and to really get them the help, the resources, the healing that they need. What is ECE?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyways. Okay, so look into those areas instead of just completely shifting over to that.
All right. I want to thank Alex and lovely Kayla for their lovely donations. Thank you. And Callie, Missy, Rebecca, Alex, Ree, all say thank you, and I love you, and it's very, very helpful.
I'm so glad this is helping. Thanks again for the donations, guys. And if you want to become a member for behind the scenes extras and direct spirit messages, bloopers, we've always got plenty of those, especially with this guy over here and that guy over there. You can hit that join button. I do want to make a couple quick announcements before we get into more of your questions, so feel free to keep posting. Tomorrow here on YouTube, we have Healed People Hear Differently. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern, one of the free mini classes I do, 1 to 2 per week. Now, when we're talking about healed people, we're talking about people who've done the work. They are working on themselves. They're doing the shadow work and maybe getting therapy or trying to be better communicators, working through their own stuff. Now, when you're dealing with someone like that, there's something you got to work with here versus someone else, and it's like talking to a brick wall. There is almost like a dark energy, a mask over them where nothing can penetrate. No logic can penetrate. No goodwill, no love that you give them can penetrate. It's like they literally aren't home. Why is that? Okay, so we're going to talk about healed people hear differently, the signs and what you can do. We also have coming up, if you're not sure what your abilities are, or if you're not sure if you want to join in the Psychic Mediumship course, starts on the 16th of February. You can register for that on the website also. But if you're not sure what your abilities are, you're debating on registering for class. Are you a psychic, a medium, or an empath? 8 p.m. on the 4th, I will be telling you what abilities you have. Okay, let's get back to it.
ECE, Early Childhood Education. All right, this is from Lovely Kayla.
Okay.
Said, I've been feeling called to leave Buffalo, and a big part of me feels called to Hawaii. What do you see for me as far as moving?
Well, I think that it's sort of a tense situation sometimes with the Hawaii move, but I feel that even though there's resistance, okay, so what do I mean by tense? I feel that there could be resistance or blocks preventing you from getting there, and that could be like a 1 to 2 year process where it's sort of like hitting one brick wall after another. I don't know that it's not the right place for you, though. I do feel that you have some unfinished business there. I think some more travels out there might do the trick for you, though. Okay, where you feel that you don't need to entirely relocate. You might be able to get enough out of it just by visiting. I do, however, feel that the warmer climate is a big deal for you. And I do feel that tropical atmosphere is a big deal for you, because one of the things I'm getting is almost like, sometimes I'm feeling like Jamaica or Barbados. I feel a few different places that you may end up feeling drawn to and not really know why. Okay, so we don't always have to move where we feel drawn to go. But I think that Buffalo, did she say Buffalo? Okay, I think that Buffalo is not a good fit for you. And what I find interesting is that the city is calling. And so when we're talking about like New York City, or we're talking about, a bigger city, maybe even like Chicago, I hear a lot of jazz. I wouldn't rule out like even New Orleans. I think that there are places where you may be drawn, where you need to get more out of that city atmosphere before you kind of take to the country or take to the beach or take to the more, suburban like path, the rural or what am I thinking? Yeah, I think that there's more to be done. And so just be mindful over the course of the next 2 to 3 years that this push for you to relocate is going to be there. And I do think that whenever you're ready to step out of the Buffalo area, it's really pretty much time. And I wouldn't be surprised if over the course of the next 6 months, you feel that push getting a little bit more forceful, almost as though you're on a deadline or you kind of have to do it. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I just want to say this too. I hear people talking to you and telling you that like either it's a bad idea or that you can't do it or that you shouldn't do it or that you can't make it somewhere else. I feel like just tune everybody out. Okay. Don't listen to a bunch of people who've never gone anywhere in their lives. Just no. You've got this. You're built to travel. You're built to be of the world, not hanging out in one spot like a lot of people do. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we have one from Alexis.
Okay.
I want to know if I will be offered the position I was invited for a second interview, and now I'm scared that if offered, it could be a big mistake. I'm looking forward to something new. Then the company is BCBSLA.
Yeah, I do think you're going to get it. And I think that if you bring in sort of that fear-based attitude, it could deteriorate the whole process. This surfaced for a reason. I think that you were supposed to do what you did. I think that now you're backpedaling. I think you're getting double-minded, and I think you're costing yourself a potential benefit by doing so. So what is the real test here? Okay, what is the real lesson and the real challenge here? It is to know in your gut when you were supposed to do something, when spirit and the universe led you to do something. You need to boldly follow through, not get out there on the ledge and then like backpedal, okay, back into fear or stagnancy. That really shouldn't happen here. Move forward. This is good.
Good. All right. This one is from Shelby.
Okay.
Is my current job at Faneuil causing my stomach pains?
Yep. Oh, this is like, take it off like a Band-Aid, kick it like a bad boyfriend to the curb. I mean, just ditch this like just some bad luck. It's basically a toxic drain on your system, and it holds no benefit. So it's not like if we can get through the next few months or like COVID or like, wait for your next promotion or a raise or something. It's not like it's going to get any better. This company has nothing to offer you and you don't belong there. And so now you're starting to see the physical manifestations of what happens when we don't move when we should. But I think that you're getting it. I think that you understand how a toxic environment like this isn't something you're willing to negotiate any longer. I think that for as long as you remain there, you may want to check out my empathic awareness class. Is the link in there somewhere, Polly?
It is.
Because you need to use those blocking techniques. Not only the blocking techniques I teach you, but also the cleansing techniques. And for the remainder of your time, and I think just drop it like a bad habit. Get out.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay, this one is from Crystal.
Okay.
How do you know the difference between your mind's thoughts and a spirit trying to communicate? I had an experience earlier, and a few words came through that I wouldn't normally think on my own.
Mm-hmm. So the difference between our imagination versus our intuition is one of the biggest parts of the curriculum that I train my students in the psychic mediumship development course. It's called a course because it's lengthy how to teach this. So I can't get to it in 3 minutes or less, but I did just put up a couple TikTok videos on it recently. So what's the difference between your intuition and your thoughts? Okay, so one of the things that I can say about this is that you typically have physical cues, okay? And one of the things that occurs when our intuition is going to kick in is ringing in the ears, tinnitus, pressure in the ears. Sometimes even really people feel like a pain in the ears. You have to learn the difference between the sides and the language there, which we teach at class. But that is a sign that intuition is actually kicking in or a spirit is coming in to communicate versus your own imagination, your logic. We really want to pay attention to discernment as well. So if your intuitive abilities are kicking in, you want to be mindful that you are discerning between positive and negative, meaning like spirits that are communicating, make sure that they're coming from the light, not the dark. And when you were talking about different words or thoughts popping into your head, you want to analyze whether or not those were positive or negative. Because if they are toxic in any way, and I'm saying this for everybody, if you notice that you start to have self-defeating thoughts or really negative, toxic thinking, that's a sign that, yes, your abilities are kicking in and you're channeling lower negative spirits. And we never, ever want to be doing that, okay? So if they are helpful thoughts, or if they can be proven to be accurate in any way, maybe like you're brushing your teeth and you hear a conversation playing in your head and your ears are ringing and you're like, what is this? This is not important at all, it doesn't seem. But you go to Starbucks and the two people at the table next to you are literally having that conversation. Okay, that is a sign that your accuracy is kicking up. It's like a test. It's all like a big game that never ends. And discernment is going to be a huge part of that. Not only discernment in whether or not it's real or it's your imagination, but also discernment as to whether or not it's high or it's low.
Okay. We have one from Megan.
Megan.
I was wondering if you pick up on any spiritual gifts I may have. I do feel intuitive. I'm not sure if there is more.
Well, this would be great for you to tune in. What is it, Thursday we're doing? Are you a psychic, a medium, or an empath? Where I might be able to get into this a little bit more for you. But what we're talking about here for you is some psychic ability and some empathic ability primarily. These are the two areas that I feel growing. Psychic ability with you has been growing since you were a kid. Empathic ability seems to be growing especially over the course of the last 2 years and more intensely over the last 2 months or so. And so one of the things that's going on with you right now, for example, is like your dreams are changing. Your dreams are becoming more wild or vivid, or you're remembering more detail and there's more symbology and stuff there. So why is that happening? Because when we combine your psychic ability, which could also for you translate nicely into doing things like tarot, we have an opportunity for you to make predictions, talk about prophecy of the future. And when we're talking about the level of empathic ability where you are right now, and I do feel like we're talking like level 2 ability, we're also talking about an ability to understand what others are thinking, understand what others are feeling, and accidentally getting embedded, okay, in their energy. With this level of empathic ability, though, you're also looking at being able to read energy from objects, atmospheres, and so it's like telling a story through your dreams. I would start keeping a dream journal and figure out what else you might want to do in the healing arts. That's empathic ability, is the ability to manipulate energy. So it works well in the healing arts. And then we're talking about psychic ability. It's understanding the past, the present, and the future as though, these are facts and you have no previous knowledge. I would also check out Paul's tarot class. Paul has a great tarot class through the Academy here that focuses on the traditional method of using the cards, but also the intuitive method. So you never get trapped using a tool. You can elevate into mediumship and channeling. So that's huge. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's very good. You did awesome with that.
Thank you. Okay. This one is from Natalka.
Okay.
What is my sister Nadia's issue with me?
She seems to be real short, and I don't feel I'm talking about height. Maybe they're mocking that, but I feel that she's real short, almost like judgmental and cutting and short with you. And I think that she may have that sort of judgmental attitude, obviously, with a lot of people. That's her stuff, I think that she's one of these people you have to say, I'm not going to take the way she treats me personally because she's got a lot going on. And the way that she sees me is a reflection of her own personal issues. Some people are going to look at you and they're going to say, oh my God, you're awesome and I enjoy you and you have a great energy. And other people are going to be offended by you and they're going to find you suspicious and they're going to be competitive or jealous. And that's what you got here. It's a reflection of her own energy. And so, you're not doing anything different with her than you do with anyone else, nor do I think you should start. I really feel like boundary setting with someone like this is going to be key. She feels a little bit like a spoiled brat. And I think that she feels very entitled to be able to be like a dictator. And I think entertaining it just feeds the problem. How's that for an answer? What's her problem? I think she's jealous. I mean, I really do, but I don't think that, even if she could accuse that you have things that she doesn't have, or, oh, good for you. Well, it's easier for you. Or, well, if I had that, I'd be that way too. That all breaks down to jealousy. That all breaks down to being competitive and wanting to control, so she should probably go talk to someone professionally about all that. it's affecting every area of our life, not just your relationship or lack thereof. Okay.
This is from Shauna.
Okay.
It says, my energy has been so off, people around me think something is wrong with me. I'm sleeping during the day, never did that before. Sometimes I'm walking around and I feel so off, like a dizzy, drunk feeling.
Okay, so let's talk about day sleep and let's talk about drunk. Well, I'm really going to recommend to you the same thing I did to someone earlier, and that is Empaths in the Pandemic, a free mini class I put up here to help people who are feeling like you do, because this isn't something that you dealt with your entire life consistently. This is probably something that was there from time to time as you got more intuitive, but as empaths have been triggered into the higher levels of the ability, and there are 4 separate levels, you find that you literally don't know what to do with the energy. And because it's overwhelming, you feel almost like a zombie or numbed out or detached or, it reminds me a lot of, and I can't prescribe diagnose, I wouldn't rule out that you have something like seasonal affective disorder, because that can look almost identical to empathic overload at the higher levels. So we want to entertain everything from like a more clinical perspective as well as an energetic perspective. And to say that the two aren't interchangeable would also be, a big illusion. So we want to understand that some of the things that are happening in the world right now and have been happening for, a year very intensely are affecting everyone, not just empaths, everyone. Every human being is energy, and every human being is susceptible to over-absorbing other people's energy. And the level of toxicity that is out there right now due to things like George Floyd and the exposure of the chronic racial injustice. We talked about this earlier with the other person I answered. We're also talking about the pandemic. So you've got fear of dying. You've got fear of death of loved ones. We've got people who are saying that it isn't real and then are infecting and essentially murdering their fellow human beings. We've got so much going on. To think that we're all just going to keep easy breezy moving along like we did in 2018 or 2019 is not realistic. By now, we're affected. Everybody is, but some people to a heightened degree, and it could be that empathic ability. It could also be something you want to look at. If it has been happening since like October and you live in an area where you're not getting enough sunlight, I would look into that anyways. Look at things like vitamin D, see if increasing that or having a UV light will help you. Talk to your doctor about a seasonal affective disorder. But the thing with sleeping in the day is also closely connected to empathic ability. So when you get serious about your training, check out the empathic awareness training up on the website. Paul put it in the link. We talk about something called night owl syndrome. Less than 20% of the population has it. According to some European studies, they ran these for 16 years. And it shows that there is a percentage of the population that will sleep during the day instead of at night. Don't get misdiagnosed with things like insomnia and put on medications for something you don't have. It is common to hit levels 3 and 4 empathic ability and all of a sudden have night owl syndrome. You sleep perfectly fine, but only during the day. I don't go to bed till 7 a.m., right, Paulie?
Yeah.
Who cares? And I was put at one point, they had me on 5 different medications for that. I didn't have insomnia at all. Okay? Now, I can't prescribe a diagnosis. I'm not telling you don't. But if you're sleeping, you're sleeping. So be careful.
Okay. This one is from Mala.
Marla?
No, actually Mala.
Oh, really, Mala?
Yeah. Okay. It's tricky.
You got, this is your new best friend here. All right, Mala. Love it.
M-A-A-L-A.
Okay.
She has 2 lost objects. I don't know if you want to go for one or both.
We can go for one.
Okay. One is a blue top. The fabric is velvet.
Was that the first one she posted?
Yes.
Okay. That's the one that I'm seeing. So yeah, we'll go with the first one. It felt to me like it had fallen, and I felt like I was looking at like a closet and stuff on the floor, and it seemed like, I don't know if you lent it out or if you had worn it in a real social situation the last time, but it feels like it's getting a lot of activity, and then all of a sudden it feels to me like it ended up back down there. And I feel it getting shoved to like a corner. So let's just say that it had fallen into a pile of other clothes, but it had also fallen, let's say it was like a basket or a pile, it had fallen out of that and got shoved back behind some other things. And so I feel quite literally like I'm looking at the corner of a closet or the corner of a wall. All right, so check there, and I do feel like I'm in a bedroom area, okay?
All right.
Okay.
I want to once again thank Alex, lovely Kayla, Shelby, Megan, Natalka, Shauna for your lovely donations. This is fantastic. Thank you so much. And Lex, Kayla, Crystal, Megan all say thank you so much. It was huge and helpful. And Bernadette says that her night is complete. Take it like a bad boy to the curb. Love it. You're an English teacher's dream.
I love it. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for Healed People Hear Differently here at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Polly.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Spirit. Everybody have a great week.